Good afternoon to everyone who's with me offline and online. So, the topic of my talk is about the innovative technology for Library 4.0, which aptly matches with the theme. So, we've been seeing these technologies for at least 2 decades, and the library is very closely connected with these technologies. Whenever there is a technology revolution that takes place, we call it as Web 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, or 4.0, whatever. The cousin or the married couple will be library. Library 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and 5.0. It goes on like this. Why is this? Why library has to be always connected with technology? Because library cannot, as the S.R. Ranganathan says, library is a growing organism. This word itself says that it has to evolve with the time. You cannot say like custodians of books for quite some time, because now the way in which the youngsters look at the information, the education method itself has changed. The pandemic time has changed the education system. Gone are the days of book reading, gone are the days of offline examination. Even the examination itself has become online now. So look at that. Now, library has to develop itself very strongly and very innovatively to fuel the demands of the youngsters. The youngsters will quickly go away from library because they don't believe in this. They don't believe in the information retrieval from books or go to library or read things like this, because they always interest something mobile. So now libraries have to go in line with the industrial revolution 4.0. By the time I'm talking 4.0, 5.0 is already started, and somebody started thinking about 6.0 already. So the technology is growing such a rapid state, and so that's why now I'm already obsolete. My presentation is already obsolete. That's why with that I'll just start the presentation. So what is the syndrome of generation 4.0? Web, okay, you may be knowing this. Web 2.0 is an interactive web. Means there was something like user participation was there. It was not like a read only web. The Web 2.0 was a read write web. You can contribute, you can comment, you can suggest, you can do whatever. That was with the read write web. User participation was there. But then the concept of Web 3.0 came. We too worked a little extent in that. It was a semantic web. The concept is to understand your pattern of search, do something with artificial intelligence network or something, and then try it out information which you may need in future. That was semantic web, but that has even grown further and called as symbiosis web, was called intelligence based web. So now more of AI technologies are applied here, and what you do is it is a more of the context based. Like you takes your place, it takes your time, it takes your previous history. For instance, now you come to Kalpakam, suddenly like you Google, then it has to give you what you're looking for Kalpakam, what purpose you have come for Kalpakam. Have come for Kalpakam as a delegate. Then what I may look for? I may look for some hotels. I may look for a travel route. So this is what it should understand, based on my context. So this is now already we are living with that web 4.0. Now come to library 4.0. So what is that? It goes as directly linked to this one. So I should understand the real technology that are around us, like some of the pieces are like the data that goes is very massive, big data. So the enormous amount of data is generated in social networking, Facebook, WhatsApp, or whatever. But not all the contents can be ignored totally. There are, of course, useful contents out of this massive data. So who will organize this massive data and who will give a fruitful output out of this? Nobody's interested. The youngsters or whoever, just you put it in some kind of storage which gets obsolete or deleted after some time. But there may be useful contents in this dump. This is exploding. So who will do it? So this is the responsibility of library now. We have our own techniques of classification. We have our own techniques of knowledge management, organizing the books. Why not organizing this big data? So this is one thing. Then the augmented reality. So I'll come into this subsequent slide about these things, but however, I just give a brief view. The AR is a concept of like, you're doing a mashup with reality, some kind of glass, and see it is in a transformed way that I come. This is context our technologies are there, cutting edge displays, infinitive creative spaces. So the industry 4.0 is about this maker space. So you can just create something. It's like creativity of the users. You can do it with the technology and do it the real 3D models. You can take it. Context our technology, as I was mentioning, open source. We have been hearing it from the morning. So we are also developing much of the software using open source, because There is nothing like a proprietary in this world now. So you go for OSs, take the software, customize it, and get the solution. Big data, which is increasing now. Cloud. Every one of us are now already in cloud. Our Google data, Google Drive is in cloud. You can get apps from cloud. So cloud is everywhere. Augmented reality, then state of the art displays coming, and librarian 4.0 is about the new skills what you supposed to get. So this is the main map, or the characterization of your industry 4.0. Whatever I talked is here. IoT. I hope all you know about IoT. So I can switch on my motor from here. I can schedule my washing machine from here. I can do anything. Operating of cars or anything that is connected to internet is IoT. Then RFID technology is also now connected with IoT, so I can do an auto book issue, return, or closing of library, shutting down the gate, everything. Sensors, which goes with IoT. Interoperability. So I don't worry about the standards. I develop some data. I develop some set of records by my organization. I do not know what is mark, what is to be core, or what is other standard. So interoperability is the characterization. I can interface this with any other software or any other database. So it is working together. Then you have simulation, you have big data, then cloud and cloud-based manufacturing, uh, things like decentralization, then cyber autonomous robots. So things like this. So I come to these things. So the challenges for the libraries in futures will be no. You look at this picture, so you will have a lot of structured data we've been working. But now we are living this way, unstructured data, mobile contents, messages, emails. But whenever I want to do certain, I hope this applies to everyone. So I have a lot of emails for the last 6 years. Whenever I try for some reference, I'll go to my inbox and search and take the email and get some data and then work on it. Suppose if my inbox or email is lost, I'll be like handicapped. I don't have future references. So this is a useful data, but available as unstructured. I can't, have metadata for it. I somehow go and search my inbox and get it by remembering certain keywords. Otherwise, I'll lose because I know there was an email in the last Readit telling about some talk. So that is like unstructured way. A lot of social media things are giving you unstructured way. So these kind of unstructured data can be at least categorized in a semi-structured way, so that I'll do a kind of digital ledger and link them together, so that there is at least a categorization available. Instead of in a big ocean, I'm searching for a fish in a pot or a kind of pond, I can easily get it. So this is big data. No, it's a tunnel. It cannot take you anywhere. It keep on goes. I don't find the end of it. The three big V's are will be like the varieties of data is like you get it from different sources. So we are all in social media, Facebook feeds, CCTV feeds. How much CCTV feeds are generated every day, everywhere CCTV is there. And email contents, your blogs, WhatsApp contents. Velocity of the data is like, every second the data is getting doubled or increased. You switch over to a mobile phone. You first started with 30 GB, 32 GB, 64 GB, 128 GB. Now we end up in petabytes because our requirement increases. So velocity is the rate at which the data comes and is increasing drastically. And that results in the volume of data, like, petabyte, zettabytes. So you will soon have a mobile phone with petabyte and zettabytes. So that is the way in which it increases. So the small data are eaten up by the big. This was the case earlier. Like the data were small, and now they have grown up and killing us. Okay, so the researchers, being R&D institutions, I can't ignore this big data at all, because on point of time, no, there are some good information available for R&D people to do from this chat, because you generate some, you have some instrument, for instance. The instrument is generating a lot of statistics or a lot of outputs, let's say. So it will be stored in my server, but at one point of time, you need to analyze and do some pattern recognition or whatever. So this big data will be a concern, a matter of concern for the researchers, definitely, because I cannot ignore this big data. This is what is the point I'm telling to them, and this will be even directly useful to the R&D work of scientists, engineers. And librarians have to use this big data tools and analyze the large holdings to understand that they know the users better. Like I know, being an R&D institution of the library of here, I know the needs of the engineers and scientists. So I should take their data, I should get the big data and do some kind of knowledge management techniques so that I can extract some meaning out of it. So I need to be connected with the user community. Then only I can understand them, right? And I can give a personalized experience to the user by this way, because I know Mr. X, I know Mr. Y, I know which area in which he is specialized in. So I can create a specialized or personalized information service system. I'm not doing a generalized information service. I know each pattern by his information need, and I can give it. So accordingly, I'll offer the services. So the other one is the IoT. I already talked in a little way. So connect everything around you in a digital way. Whatever you can, cell phone, copy makers, washing machine, headphones, lab, wearable devices, Google Glass, your smart watches, almost everything else you can think of it. You can make your own device with IoT and connect it to net, and design an app for it. You just keep monitoring it, you schedule it, stream it, or whatever. So everything is connected, and anything you want to connect will be connected in future. This is what is IoT. And our RFID libraries are using RFID. I was mentioning earlier that it can be used in conjunction with RFID technology for making automation of the loans, like book issue and book return. So imagine a state where you just walk into the library with your book, and that is enabled with an RFID tag, and you go just with your mobile and do that, it gets enabled, it gets given to you. There is no this like concept of manless library, and I can just put a book. Now itself is available. I can just smart shelf will be there. I can just put it on it. It gets returned, and so it is based on some kind of wireless communication, and based on that, the entire IoT is based on wireless communication. There's a wearable library wearable. So your library card itself need not be a card of card. From front card, we are now more to smart card. Now you all know in IGCAR that our ID card itself is integrated with RFID, and this card is like having the library membership number. So this is a smart card, but now we have gone up to a library wearable. Like I will have like a wristwatch kind of thing, and that gets connected to IoT and connected to my library database and connected to a database of my interest, which stores my priorities, my browsing history, everything. So when I go to library with this thing, now I can just go around and take my books, and automatically it bombards me with the suggestions. What has come new? It can point, go to this place, a new book has come for you. Just go to this website, it come for you. This is library wearable. And smart sensors like pressure pads, like you can even in now the people count has become an issue in library, because the technologies have gone ahead, but print books people are not using so much. But there are categories of people who will still use print books. So how to find out the people in and people out? So we have at our library an RFID based gates. So where the people walk in, there will be a sensor. The sensor will get blocked by the some object which passes in between, and that increases the count. It may not be processed. If you walk 10 times, it will give you 10 count. But nevertheless, this is the way you count the people. And but the other side, you have smart assets. So it is like the pressure pads. The pressure pads that are put on the walking areas, and you just press on it, it gives you a counter. Not only that, it can switch on the smart lighting also. Like for instance, you need not waste electricity all the times. When I go and stand at the light gets switched on automatically. So these are all the smart assets and AR technology. So it is like overlay of computer generated images onto the real world scenes. For instance, you see this particular pic for better understanding, that I just take my tab. I just take the picture of my library book racks, and added to that, there is a database that gets mashed up over here. And these messages you see are like my subjects. I get just an arrow or kind of pinpoints that you go this rack, You have your book. This is augmented reality. The reality is there, and I have my virtual thing mashed up together and given in a 3D way. So I see as if it is exists, but this is the augmented reality. So the information layer is formed onto the real life targets. It's not only here, even driving or do whatever, it is there. So libraries can have like AR books can give like interesting guided tours, 3D books. So those who are not interested in reading also will get interest out of it. Like as if you see the things that are happening before you. Imagine how interesting it to go through books. So this category of thing will be like guided tours, some kind of demonstrations, and all be very useful. Cloud computing is what everyone knows is based on somebody is giving me some infrastructure. So I don't have to earlier. We ourselves are an example for how we migrated from over a period of last at least 2 decades. When I joined, it was pure workstations that existed. We used kind of not even graphical interface was there, but it was like client server model. People have to come to library and there will be some restricted machines. So people will come and sit and retrieve. But from there, we have gone to a server and client model. So a server client model, and the clients can be distributed over network. Then came the web technology. Then came the virtual computations. Then came the cloud computing. So why should I worry? Why should I host a server for my information? Why should I develop a software for it? Already people are having it for you. So you can go for Google Drive, you can go for Google App Engine or Microsoft. So there are solutions what you look for, and just you have to hire or subscribe to it so that you get what you want. Most of our information resources we get are already on cloud. Our e-journals, standards, databases are getting from cloud. So we are only accessing it here. Likewise, our own, even the library applications can be from cloud. They're actually externally hosted. I mean, some third party is hosting it for you. So I don't have the headache of taking backup, maintaining the infrastructure, problem of upgrading and maintaining. So I'm totally out of it. So somebody is taking care. And the pricing is based on the subscription or utility. So how much I subscribe, I'll get the thing. How much is the utility I have, I'll pay for it. It's a highly abstracted computing model. By the way, what I mean is, I don't have to have a deep knowledge of what is server, what is software. I only have, see, everyone uses mobile phone. Need to know the mobile phone. Do I need to know how WhatsApp is implemented? No. It is given in a very highly abstracted way so that anybody can host the library site, anybody can develop some information repository or whatever. And the provisioned on demand. So the provision on demand means it is pinned or it is developed based on it. So it's like when I just enter into cloud, I may see, oh, it's a big area. I don't know. I'm a very small library. Why you go for it? No, don't worry. You give my command. I can provision it. Synchronizing scaled according to your needs, and elastic consumption of resource can be in contract. Suppose if I go beyond it, I can just increase the contract or pay for it or whatever. So I am not concerned by any way. This one. If okay, my was just only 52. Okay. So I thought I will take the liberty of 3 minutes. Fine. Cloud computing. So cloud computing is uh, increasing migration made tool for local computing to a remote hosted or virtualized alternate. So I give up this local hosting. I don't have to maintain UPS server, backup, AC. Now work from home concept has come. So the companies may depend on the clients to take care of the infrastructure. Likewise, this is an example. So it can be very attractive for libraries because the manpower any organization increases. The first manpower cut will come to only library, that all we know. Not only financial cut, we also face manpower. So how do we manage in this case? It's like I can take cloud computing and with few technology support person I can manage it. And what I need all is a bit good bandwidth. So that is a limited practice. So some of the examples for is like infrastructure as a service. So what I need a hardware, a storage. You have a simple storage service, Amazon Web Service, Elastic Cloud, platform as a service. You have Google App Engine, Windows Azure, OCLC software as a service. I have Koha. Koha is a library software. It's available on cloud, so I can take it. Text libraries, citation managers, Evergreen. There's some of the things you can take for libraries. And the new concept is a blockchain technology. The blockchain technology I'm hearing everywhere. What is it about? What is all about? It's simple words. It is like a digital ledger. Every transaction record can be conveyed. You do some transaction with your mobile or laptop or elsewhere. It can be a block, and it is connected to from several databases. It's called the nodes, and they get connected together as a chain. So block is your transaction, a chain is your network, and this is together is called as a digital ledger. And this digital ledger is authorized by digital signature. So I can authenticate. There is a way you can authenticate, safeguard, and proof against tampering and all these things. So it is an alternative method. Like you see from this pic, you have wallets, your digital wallets, digital mining, then cryptocurrencies. Yeah, especially for libraries, it is very useful because we do end up in doing the exchanges conversion, dollar conversion, euro conversion. Since cryptocurrency can help you very authentically and get it done, and overseas payment can be done instantly. And smart contracts. So when you end up in paying in context of library, let me tell you. So if you sign up an agreement with the publishers, you can do a small contract based on the trust. So everything is through blockchain technology and digital ledger. As I was mentioning, can do wherever you go for preservation method, community based sharing of objects, then interlibrary loan services, wherever you need authentication, verification of credentials, then your library card systems, organizational data management, intellectual R&D sector. For example, I need to maintain the IPR, intellectual property rights, so I can do through blockchain technology. So it can do an authentication for me, can do as encryption for me, it can do cryptocurrency for me, it can do backup for me, whatever. So having seen all this, so my point is like librarians have to improve their skills because they will become obsolete. So they have to get adapted to change management, and they provide a value-added services. Convention every day, the dimension of service should change. Otherwise, they become obsolete. So tomorrow, I myself should learn about new technology and implement in my service. Otherwise, I'll sit in a corner. This is what creativity and innovation is about. So influencing and negotiation is very important when you go to vendor or when you go to publisher. So you have to first, this is not only for publisher, it's also for management, because I have to influence my management that yes, I need to buy this. Yes, I need to provide this service. Otherwise, they simply say, closing their eyes, it is not required. No, it is required. So it is my skill to, influence them and negotiate in such a way. So it is very important. And digital based research, you need to support. So not like you, when R&D people, when a researcher is interested in research, you don't emphasize them to take only print. You provide the tools, and now we have like research assistant database and tools with us. So kind of these tools we have to give them for supporting the digital research. And first, digital literacy, information services, literacy services, we need to organize periodically so that a newly joined user or even the old user will know what is up to date with library. Marketing, yeah, I need to market my library product, otherwise nobody will come into library. One is about the footage into library, the other one is about the usage of library resources. So it's my mandate to increase them. It's important. Yes. Then digital information management, this DAM, we've been doing it for many decades, but the definition gets changed. And developing and managing the space. The space, that means the library has become a smart space. It's not necessarily the physical space. It could be a space for smart collaboration, creative space for your 3D objects creations, etc. That's what I said, collaboration. I think, I think I'm in time. Thank you very much. Yeah, the surgical mouse is still here. Okay, maybe. So, if you have any questions?
Actually, it is very difficult to talk at 2:30 to 3 in this scan, and he did a very good job talking about all technologies that are implemented on library, from the conventional library to today's library, even the blockchains and everything he touched upon. So that simply implies he's working on it. It is not the role of a librarian, it is the role of the IT technology people in library to implement all this to make a librarian life